Okay, so the problem is, given a binary string, return the number of empty substrings that have the same number of zeros and ones. All the zeros and all the ones in the substrings are grouped consecutively. Substrings that occur multiple times are counted the number of times they occur. For example, there are six substrings that have equal number of consecutive ones and zeros. Mm, okay. Also note that 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 is not a valid substring because all the zeros and ones are not grouped together. Okay, so it should be something like 1 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. So like k ones k zeros or k zeros k ones. Okay. Mm. So if we scan from the beginning, we can count the previous, if the character is equal to previous one, right? We keep incrementing the count. So we start with 0 0, it will be 0 1. The count, when it reaches 0 again, we make the count 2. And okay, we make it, when we reach 1, we see that, oh, it's different from the previous one. So I will, I will keep on adding. uh, I'll see that, okay, the previous zeros are 2. I'm at currently number 1 position. The current count is, right. So since the current count is greater than the previous, that means there exists, I can pick one zero, like the current zeros from the previous zeros, and that's going to make one valid substring. And we move to this, and the current becomes 2 and the previous becomes 2. Since current is at least previous, I can add 1 because I can form a valid substring. Now when we come at 0, we'll say that, oh, 0 is different from the previous. So I'll make the current as previous, and I'll reset current to 1, and then I start comparing again. So something like, as we scan, whenever we change, we see that the character is different from the previous. You reset the counters. Uh, you make the current as previous and the current as one, and you do the calculation where basically if the current is at least previous, you see that the substring can end at this position, and you're gonna continue. So basically, if you see the first example, 0 1 1 is ending at the fourth position, 0 1 1 is ending at third position, 1 1 0 is, I mean, at no position, like two substrings can't end at the same position. So that is the no constraint we are, like, not constraint, but uh, loop invariant, if we can call. Okay, so yeah, that looks like the possible answer. So initially what we'll do is we'll start with, since we're comparing it with previous character, we'll make we'll we'll skip the zero and we'll say we'll start from here. Okay, we'll start from index 1. So in the previous will be 0 initially and current will be 1, right? And we also need to store the answer equal to 0. What we're saying is for int I is equal to 1, I less than s dot length I plus plus. What we're saying is if the current character is equal to the previous character, then it's simple. You just increment the current, right? Else you're saying previous is equal to current. You're done with previous. Okay, it's almost like the previous will be 0 and the current is 1. Like when before comparing this, and when you're comparing, the current has become 0. Since the characters are not equal, it is 0. That means you don't need that previous 0 count now. Okay, so it will become current is equal to 1. Okay, now if current greater than or equal to previous, you're saying answer plus plus, and then you return. Let's try run. So for this case, you're starting with this index. 0 is not equal to 1, so you'll make previous is equal to 1, current is equal to 1. Since current and previous are, our answer has become 1. Now you're at index 2 and it is not equal, so previous is equal to 1, current is equal to 1 again. And again you'll make the answer 2, and you will come again, the value is not equal, previous equal to 1, current equal to 1, and then again you increment and then you increment, so 1 2 3 4, right? For this case, you're at this, the value is equal, you say this current plus plus. Well, current uh, it's current or less than or equal to, right? Because you want more zeros, the zeros to be at least this. But previous is 0, right? So you will not update the answer. Now you come at 1, the value is not equal, so previous becomes 0, 2, and current becomes 1. Now current is less than or equal to prev, so you say increment the answer, and then here increment the answer. Now the value changed, now the previous has become 2, right? Previous has become 2 and the current has become 1, and yeah, it makes sense. So this should work. Okay, I got to remove one additional plus. Okay, it got accepted. Let's look at solutions. Group by character. What they're saying is, yeah, grouping is okay, but I think it will be two pass if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's two pass. Let's linear scan. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Answer is 0, previous is 0, current is 0. Then you're saying if not equal, Okay, okay. Instead of saying this, they're saying directly, we have done previous and main. Oh, it makes sense. Hmm. Right. I think this also should work. This only happens instead of doing it every time. You can just say, hmm, like whenever previous is getting erased, then we calculate the update the answer. Come on, is this an easy question? I think these are not recent comments. Let's sort them by newest. This is not too easy, but easy. Python one-liner, bro. It's an overkill, bro. Not an easy because unsquare is rejected, meaning the answer must be optimized. I thought easier brute forceable. How did you brute for this, bro? Okay, I think we are done.